Welcome to Class 1 of this free mini-series. Now, of all the things that you'll learn in all these variety of free classes, there's nothing that I want you to just believe because I say so. Challenge everything and allow yourself to discover for yourself in your gut instinct if it actually makes sense. What I'm telling you, see if it lines up with what life tells you. See if it feels right. And keep questioning it until you find that you're in alignment with what life actually shows us. That's what these 24 life ingredients are all about. So in the first one, I've got a couple of questions for you. And the first question, you'll have about 10 seconds, plus or minus, for an answer. And the first question is, what is a car? An automobile. What is that? Now, as you contemplate that, most people will have an answer relatively quickly. Now, we'll jump to the next question. So, the next question is a little more difficult. Again, 10 seconds. And the question is, what is life? Now, what I'm looking for is that instant answer, that what's on the top of your mind for that. And one of the most common responses that we have to these two questions is for a car, it's a vehicle with four wheels, it's got an engine, and we use it to go from point A to point B. So pretty practical answer. When somebody who doesn't know what a car is would hear that, they would know exactly what they could do with it and if they would use something like that or how to use it. But when it comes to the question of life, then people are often saying, oh gee, that's a good question, let me think about that. Or they'll talk about some theoretical, some fluffy, something that's anything but a practical answer. And so the point of this is when we know the practical answer to something, then we know what to do with it. And if we don't have a practical answer to what life is, right off the top of our head, that means we haven't really considered it. And that means that when we're stuck in life, there's the beginning point of why we're stuck. We're trying to make changes, but we don't even understand the vehicle we're driving. We don't understand what it is, how it works. And so how do we expect to make real change when we don't understand the mechanisms? And that's what these classes are about. There's free classes. There's no hype, no sales, nothing like that. All this is just free information. Follow it through to the end, use the information, go through it again, follow the link so that you have the information available. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go through an exercise and you can be able to put this into practice. Because there's nothing worse than somebody saying, well, you've got to find your why. That's all great and wonderful, but how do you do that? So that's what all these classes are about. Each class brings you another segment, another piece of the 24 life ingredients, so that you can put them into practice in your day-to-day life. Now, an important part of that is being able to be in the right frame of mind for it. You won't always be ready to be actively working on changing your life, not at the beginning. And so one of the key things is our breathing. See, we live a spiritual, physical existence. We think that we have a mind, which is spiritual, and we have a body, which is physical. And the combination of those two, until they part at death, is what we have the power to use to create the life that we want. So in these exercises, what we're going to do is we're going to imagine that every time when we're breathing in, so we're taking a deep breath in, we're going to imagine two things. One is that we're imagining that we're pulling in all kinds of new energy from the universe. And the other is that we're breathing in through all of our pores. Not just through our nose, but through all of our pores. So we're taking that deep breath in, and we're feeling a whole sense of renewal, of new energy coming in. And as we breathe out through our mouth, from our lungs, we're breathing out exhausted ideas, stress, worries, everything that we're no longer needing. And as we do this breathing, we're just going to go at our own pace because everybody's going to breathe a little bit differently. So just feel comfortable how you're breathing. Don't worry whether you're keeping up with me or not. And keep also in mind that the breathing and the thoughts is a background to this. So where a lot of people get confused in meditation, this is something you might want to watch the video on meditation on, is that meditation isn't separate from life. This is going on while we're living. And when we're in this, what I call the meditative state, so we're relaxed and we're breathing, then we're already in the state. So now the value of meditation really comes forward. So watch the video for the class on that. In the meantime, so now we're dealing with, so what is life? So if we don't have a practical answer so far, let's try this one on. Life is a series of connected and related experiences. Good so far? So we know it's just a series of connected and related experiences. Now let's break that down into some smaller pieces. So we'll expand the definition to be life is a series of macro experiences created by micro experiences. So what does that mean? Okay, a macro experience, so the major macro experience is our life itself, from the time that we're thought of coming into existence to the time that we're irreparably dead. Now, that's a major macro experience. But then to make up that experience, there's the macro experiences. So macro experiences could be things like education, marriage, relationships, childhood, adulthood. All these things are macro experiences. And as we can see, that none of those happen all by themselves. We just don't bang all of a sudden we're an adult. It goes through a series of micro experiences. Now, what we'll come to realize is that if we're going to change our life, which we do continually, we're always looking for something better, then we're going to be, since we can't change it through the macro experiences, we can only change it through the micro experiences. So it's important that we discover what are the micro experiences. So let's take a look at something like a good night's sleep. So what are the micro experiences that make up the macro experience of a good night's sleep? Well, let's consider that do the thoughts that we have before we go to sleep, do they affect how we sleep? Do they affect how we wake up? So for example, we're dreading going to work in the morning. How does that affect how we're sleeping? How does that affect how we wake up? If we're going to be going on holidays tomorrow, what are their thoughts? How does that affect how we sleep? How does it affect how we wake up? So we can see that the micro experiences of the thoughts that we're having are a part of the macro experience of having a good night's sleep. So in these exercises, and you can apply this to everything in your life, so that's why I suggest follow these links, make sure you've got a copy, make sure you can keep coming back to it, because as you practice it and as you remember, oh yeah, we got to do this, or keep the breathing right, keep the state of mind right. We want to be relaxed. We don't want to be driving while we're doing this, because we want to be able to focus on what we're thinking about, and we can't focus on driving and on the micro experiences of our life. That would be too distracting, too dangerous. So make yourself comfortable on a couch, on a bed, anywhere where you can just relax, breathe, and now in that meditative state of just being relaxed, breathing in the new energy from the universe and exhausting everything that we don't need anymore. So you can just physically feel that leaving your body. And then explore an area. So for example, let's go through a short exercise here. Close our eyes and just and as we're breathing, so that's going in the background and we're feeling that new energy coming to us, we're thinking about, how do I want to wake up in the morning? And what are the micro experiences that build that macro experience? So am I too rushed in the morning when I'm waking up? Would it be handy to wake up maybe an extra 15 minutes or half an hour earlier? So how would I do that? Is that possible? So as we consider changing our macro experience of how we wake up, then we can say, okay, well, how would I do that? So I might go to sleep earlier, or I might have different thoughts about waking up, because now instead of waking up to the thought of, oh, I've got this hectic morning, got to get going, got to get moving, got to get everything going, I can think, okay, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to actually have a half an hour for myself. I can watch the sun come up. I can maybe do a little bit of exercise. I might go for a short walk. I might just sit and just enjoy a cup of tea. And so from that perspective, so now we're breathing. And as we're doing this, say maybe before we go to bed or while we're laying in bed, while we're preparing to sleep, we don't have to put this into a lot of ritual or a lot of practice. All we have to do is have the awareness that we're going to wake up that half hour early for the benefit of being able to enjoy time to think about us, our life. We're going to be able to think just about what's important to me. If you do this every morning and you're waking up and you're enjoying that time and you're using that time to think about what really matters in life, then you're going to find very quickly that something that was at the beginning is something you're consciously doing. In no time at all, it becomes something of your subconscious. And what you've done is you've changed one autopilot of going to bed and waking up and rushing into work into a new autopilot of being able to go to sleep knowing that you're going to sleep well and you're going to wake up with abundant time to enjoy the wake-up process. So, and you can apply this to every area of your life. So you can start to see the significance of the 24 life ingredients, because if we understand that life is macro experiences produced by the micro experiences, and we get to choose the micro experiences that make up the macro experiences, and that's the only way that life ever changes. We didn't put on extra weight from all at once. That came bite by bite. There's a video about weight loss. If we're having trouble getting into a relationship, that didn't come about that we're anxious or that we have anxiety or depression. That didn't come about all at once. And there's a video about that. If you're in a relationship and you want to improve it, or you're in a divorce and you want to change that, or you want to create better outcomes, there's a video about that. And they're all free, and they're all just like this. We just cover the basics of it. You get the part of the 24 life ingredients that are needed that apply to that. We discuss it, and then we do a little bit of practice exercise. So you can see, okay, when I come back to this video and I want to apply this to something else in my life, oh yeah, okay, so this is how that goes again. And then I realize that there's a lot of information here, and there's only content that's valuable. There's no sales pitch, nothing, just valuable content. So I'm hoping that you're getting good value from these videos. If you'd like to be in contact, get our emails, let me know, and I'll get you on our email list. And otherwise, just enjoy the videos. You'll find them on my YouTube channel, John Verway, or John Verway 2020. I have two of them, and they're various postings. And you'll look for these series under the free mini series, and then there are classes 1 through 9 or 11 or something so far. So, and I keep adding them. So by following, then you're going to be able to get the links when the new classes come out. So feel free to share them and get good value for yourself from them. And I wish you all the best. I look forward to meeting you.